This is a live Oklahoma weather alert here, continuing to track storms across Oklahoma, severe weather, and again, intermittent tornadic activity as well, intermittent tornado warnings. And so again, we have a lot going on. It's going to be a busy weather evening. And again, we've got our team of trackers out there as well. And we are going to be checking in with them again here really over the next few minutes. So what I want to do here, first of all, let's go and get you caught up with radar. And let's just going to kind of zoom out there a little bit, first of all, Chris, and let's go first of all up here into central Oklahoma. And so we've got severe thunderstorm warnings here. So we're going to look at some video coming in from our trackers coming up momentarily. But again, right now, let's go and zoom in. So severe thunderstorm warning here. And so as we zoom in, essentially you can see from Guthrie all the way down through Edmond, downtown Oklahoma City. And let's go look at the hail core tracker here. The main concern with this is at least the opportunity for some large hail. So that's why this severe thunderstorm warning has been issued here. Specifically, it's for the hail. And so again, you can see an opportunity, especially where the smattering of blue and some aquas, that's going to be an opportunity for at least maybe some quarters to $50 size hail. So not extremely large or damaging hail here. But again, a lot of folks are out on the roads. It's the evening commute time right now, and we understand that. So again, downtown Oklahoma City, Bethany, even back over through really through Lake Hefner, again, there's the opportunity for that hail. And again, $50 to quarter size hail quite possible. Also back down here around the Mustang area as well. So as we go back to reflectivity, outside of the hail threat with this activity, there is still that opportunity of locally heavy rain. And again, you're seeing it right there, locally heavy rain. And so ponding on the roadways, a lot of issues again for the evening commute, again, as this moves on in, again, from the west. So if you're just now basically heading out on your evening commute, this is, again, a big heads up for you that, again, you've got to take your time, give yourself plenty of time. And if you really don't even have to get out on the roadways at this point, that would be best. I want to check in with Mike Russ, one of our storm trackers. He's out there in southwest Oklahoma City. Mike, tell us where you are now and give us a live update.
Yes, William, we're going to be just southwest of Mustang, Oklahoma right now. We believe we have an area of rotation out here. We're trying to get to a good spot where we can get a good shot of it here. But we're noticing the cloud base has come down, and we're really watching it right now, William, as these storms kind of really try to intensify here in the metro area.
Yeah, Mike, they really are. And I tell you what, especially down there in the southwestern sides of the metro, we've got a little bit of a developing hook here. And so I want to go and zoom on in. And this is right by, on days like today when we're talking about warm fronts and boundaries, this is essentially right down here where this boundary is. And so we've got a hook coming up fairly quick. We'll see exactly how this matures. But this is down here in the Westmore area. Mike, tell me again exactly where you guys are.
We're going to be on Rockwell, and I can't see the other cross street here.
Okay, and you guys are shooting and you guys are shooting video down to the south. Is that right?
Yes, we're at 104th.
Okay, yeah.
Southwest 104th and Rockwell.
Yeah, Mike, I tell you what, if you guys can get a little bit further on down to the south, and so let's go and just take a look at the spin rate here. We'll just kind of analyze this storm here in real time. It's a broad area of spin, but we've got the structure developing for a bit of a hook on the back end. And again, like I was saying, on days like today, sometimes these storms, they'll hang up on the boundaries, and that's potentially, we just want to underscore that, potentially where you can get some type of a quick spin up. So we can have a bit of a developing hook here, and that's going to be on the western sides of Moore. And so Mike, you're on that. And like you said, you're tracking down to the south. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
William, that's correct.
Okay,
we are still tracking south. We're doing it a little bit slower now, just so we can keep a really good visual on everything here, William.
Okay, so again, if you can, just as soon as possible, try and get back down, especially to the southwestern sides of the Oklahoma City metro. What I want to do now, I want to take the radar. Let's go back down to the southwest. And we've got several different storm trackers here to check in, several different areas. And what I want to do first of all is go down here. Let's go right in there around the Marlow-Duncan area. And so we've got severe storms here. And so we've got Peyton Epperly. Peyton, tell us where you are exactly now, and go and give us a live update on your storm down there.
Yes, William, I am going just out of Duncan to my north to Marlow. There's some radar indicated rotation just to my west. I'm going to try to bust up here quick and see if maybe I can get in front of it a little bit. But it does look like circulation would, in fact, be rain-wrapped. I have no visual on it. Back to you.
Okay, so we're looking at your storm here as well. And so there is an area of spin. It's going to be right there north of Central High. And again, right, there's a lot of, and we'll take this a little lower third. Currently no tornado warnings anywhere in Oklahoma, but there's a lot of precipitation associated with this, but we've got this area of spin right back in here. In fact, you can even see on the reflectivity, if you take a look at this comma, you can almost kind of see this developing comma here, and that's that area of spin. This is rain wrapped. We have a mesocyclone developing inside of that, and so a lot of times we'll get mesocyclones that never go on to produce any type of tornadic activity. On a day like today, where at least the tornado potential is increasing now over the next several hours, we've really got to keep our eyes on this. This is an embedded mesocyclone, and it's involved in a lot of heavy precipitation. And so again, this is something we really got to track carefully. That's the spin rate right there. As we go back to the spin rate, again, you can see where the computer here, or at least the computer is telling us where that area of spin. We also saw that there in reflectivity, kind of that comma shape, and we're getting a fairly strong indication just north of Central Heights here, Central High, and of course this is far northwestern portions of Stevens County of at least a broad area of spin. So right back down here in Marlow, again, that's where Peyton's video is coming in from there. And so Peyton, we're really eyeballing this carefully with you. But again, you folks down here in southwestern Oklahoma, down there in really northwestern portions of Stevens County, this is a heads up. Let's go to velocities. Let's go to velocities right there. And as we go to velocities, just up one there, just gonna click up. And so velocities right now, it's not a real clear definition, at least at the lower level. So this is one we'll continue to track. And as we go back to reflectivity, let's go further on down to the south here. And as we do go further down to the south, we're going to check in with Trey. And hey, Mike, you may check your video. Your video's down. Mike Russ, you may check your video. And I want to go down to southwestern Oklahoma. This is where Trey is. Trey, tell us exactly where you are now. I know you're dropping down further to the south, but tell us where you are and go ahead and give us an update.
Yes, William. I just left Walters, Oklahoma. I am heading west towards Highway 281, I believe, where I'm going to drop south and catch this supercell that was tornado warned earlier, but seems to have lost it, but still has a prominent hook on it just south of, or about Duval, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay, and so that's going to be...
And I will get video for you there.
Okay, got it, Trey. And so that's going to be lifting up to the northeast. So again, Geronimo, Walters, Temple, all the way back down through Cookietown. Again, these are severe storms here. As we go to the hail core tracker, again, you can see an opportunity. There's spotty hail cores here, but again, inside these spotty hail cores, there's definitely an opportunity. And again, this is why we have these severe thunderstorm warnings here of an opportunity here of at least some golf ball size hail. Trey, go ahead.
William,
Trey, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for the people in Walters and to the east and northeast of this, there is a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes happening. Some were really close.
Okay, so these storms are very electrically active as well, and that's the other thing we really have to keep in mind on days like today, especially evening commute, folks trying to get home, get away from the weather. Again, we have to remember lightning safety as well, but there is a lot of hail involved with this activity, especially down in southwestern Oklahoma. Let's go back up into central Oklahoma, and I want to come into Cleveland County, and that's where we have, again, we've got Eric Hobbs, one of our other storm trackers here. And so, Eric, we're looking at this cell just south of the Norman area, and so this cell's come up fairly quickly. It's there around Purcell. But Eric, tell us where you are now, and also go ahead and give us another live update from your location.
Yeah, William, we just north of Maysville. I'm heading north on 74 toward Purcell, trying to get out ahead of that cell that's coming out of Lindsay. It has a rather ominous looking shape to it on the southern end of the storm on radar. So we're trying to get in position to intercept that as it comes toward Purcell.
Okay, so again, locally heavy rain, some vivid lightning moving into the Purcell area now, basically the I-35 corridor from Noble down through Purcell. Let's look at the hail core tracker. And as we look at the hail core tracker, again, right now, not a super pronounced hail core here, but at least an opportunity for some quarter plus size hail. Officially, quarter is 1 inch hail. So officially severe there with quarter-size hail. Let's look at velocities within the storm here as well. Again, whenever you have a tornado watch in effect, you have a moderate risk now of severe weather heading into the evening. You got to continue to look with inside these storms. Right now, nothing too concerning with this, at least at the present time, outside of kind of the structure of the storm. It kind of has that supercell structure where it wants to try to become a supercell. Let's look at the spin rate product here quickly as well. And at least right now, the spin rate product here, again, not necessarily showing any area of concern within that. So spin rate right there, go right there. Nope, right there. There we go. So, okay, so right down there south of Kreiner, we'll kind of watch that area here over really the next 30 minutes or so. Hey, Eric, tell me this. How far or did you say you were from the storm? You said you're currently going through the Maysville area. So you're essentially looking up at this. And as we're just looking at base velocities here at the lower levels, not necessarily seeing anything too concerning. But I tell you, the computer, as it's looking up kind of through height here, south of Kreiner, it is giving us a small indicator here that there is at least some weak rotation. Now, as you're looking, again, there's a lot of haze, there's a lot of precipitation here. Are you able to see anything inside the storm as far as the base or structure goes?
Yeah, William, I just turned west on 59. I can actually see a lowering in front of me.
Okay.
And we're headed due west on 59 right now, just north of Maysville.
Okay, so we're going to continue to watch this one. Eric, if anything changes there, and I know your rule, so your video's a little in and out, but we do have a bit of an area of spin. And again, we're going to be talking about a lot of areas of spin as we go through the evening. 90% of these areas of spin, if you will not come close to producing any type of tornadic activity. Okay, so we want to be clear about that. They will not come close to producing tornadic activity, but there is an opportunity that a few of these may. And so again, as we're looking at our spin rate product backside of the storm, where we have this, what appears to be a developing hook, the computer is also telling us we have a developing area of spin here as well. So this is one of the things we're going to be watching. Again, Eric has eyes on it. Eric, if anything changes on that storm before we come back to you, let us know right away, and we'll jump right back to it. Let's go back to reflectivity. And there is a bit of a developing hook there, Eric. This other cell, man, I tell you what, Mike, here right over Oklahoma County and northern Cleveland County, we've got a developing supercell, what appears to be a developing supercell here, Mike. Tell us where you are, and even on the back end of it, we're really getting this curvature. And as we get Mike's video punched up here, we're getting this curvature on the back side of it. And tell us where you are right now, Mike, and let's quickly go to the spin rate here if we can. And so we're not getting any strong indications anywhere with the spin rate, and even as we're looking, but see, as we look at velocities, and Mike, we're going to get to your audio here in just a second. On the back side of this, as we're looking at velocities, red and green, here's this broad area of spin. That's also where we have this developing, at least, curvature on the back side, where again, we have at least a developing mesocyclone. Mike, you're on the live line. Tell us where you are now exactly, and give us an update here.
Yes, William, I'm at mile marker 111 on 44. We came south to try to get a better advantage point on the storm. Now we're looking back into it here again. But again, William, this storm, it keeps developing areas of rotation. They keep going from it, really maximizing those hailstone sizes right now.
Okay, so and we've got a brand new tornado warning coming out down here in Cotton County. Mike, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to go back down here, and that's where we have Trey. And so this is going to be a brand new tornado warning until 5 p.m. For Cotton County. And so again, we've got Trey down there. We're going to jump down there. We're going to bounce all of this. There's a lot going on. It's over a large area of Oklahoma. We're going to bounce around. And I apologize for that, but we're going to continue to cover this and again bounce around. So Mike, if anything changes quickly, let me know. We're going to get right back to you. There's Mike Russ in southwestern Oklahoma City. But what I want to do, I want to go back down to Trey. And so Trey, you're down there, and we've got this brand new tornado warning. Let's zoom in down there if we can. Yep. Trey, if you're on the live line with us, go ahead and give us an update.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
Sorry, yeah, I just got on to the turnpike. I'm heading down towards Duval right now. It still has a prominent hook on it. The one to the southeast of to its southeast, that is just north of Wichita Falls, has gone tornado warning. warned on it, but I will not be able to get to that one, but I will get to this one down here by Duval.
Okay, yeah, just because of the highway, right? No, we understand that completely. But again, if you're down here in Cotton County, Cookie Town, Temple, again, even as far east as Hastings, again, these are areas where you've got to be paying extra special attention. Again, we've got this brand new tornado warning down here. So again, you folks down in this area, again, you've got to be taking your immediate tornado precautions. And again, if you have friends, family, loved ones who live down in this area, they also need to be taking their immediate tornado precautions. Again, sometimes some of our friends in rural hometowns, again, they don't necessarily get the warning as quickly or sometimes at all. So if you have friends, family, loved ones down here, text them, call them, let them know that, again, yes, there's a brand new tornado warning down here. It's for Cotton County, and again, it's until 5 p.m. this evening. We've had multiple tornado warnings and unfortunately multiple confirmed tornadoes today, most of those being in northeastern Oklahoma. But again, as we go through the evening, south central Oklahoma, and potentially even up into portions of central Oklahoma, there is a threat of tornadic activity. We don't say that to alarm anyone. We don't say that to give anyone anxiety. Again, these are just kind of the cold hard facts that we're going to have to deal with again as we go through the evening. But again, twin supercells here, and again, you can see the hook here, and even this storm here has also got a hook as well. And so again, this activity now sliding up there into portions of Cotton County, and even on Trey's video here, again, you can actually now see the base of the storm. So a lot of these storms are going to be rotating as we go through the evening. And I just want to be real clear about that. We've got a lot of folks joining us now on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. Even if we're talking about a rotating storm, that does not always mean that it is going to produce a tornado. So we just want to be clear about that. Most of these storms we deal with this evening will be rotating. The atmosphere is such this evening, it's just primed and ready to go with rotation. That does not equate to an immediate tornado threat. So we're going to track that. A lot of times that can just mean larger hail, but at least these down here, specifically this one here that's moving up through the Red River, this one has now prompted a tornado warning. There is possibly some type of tornadic activity again associated with that storm. So again, we're going to continue to track that one. And again, that's going to be coming up there in the portions of Cotton County, and specifically right down there along Highway 70. But again, if you're in Cookie Town, if you're in Temple, and even if you're as far east over there as Hastings, again, you've got to be paying attention to this storm. And again, you've got to be ready to take your immediate, again, tornado precautions. Again, that is in southwestern Oklahoma. We're going to keep juggling these storms. Mike, by the way, your video's down. Mike and OKC, your video's down. It looks like it just popped back up. I'm going to take the radar a little bit further to the north. And this is where I want to touch back in with Peyton. Peyton Epperly, tell us where you are. I know you were in Marlow a few minutes ago, and then we really got to check back in with Mike with what's going on here in central Oklahoma. But Peyton, you're on the live line with us. Tell us exactly where you are now and give us an update.
Hey, yes, William. I'm just now pulling into Rush Springs. There isn't a little bit of rotation in this storm. It's embedded, though. I believe I can see a wall cloud. Wall clouds have been reported on Spotter Network. I'm just working to try to get a better visual. But, man, the rain is torrential down here. It is raining really, really hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, absolutely heavy rain. There's no two ways about it. Ongoing with a lot of these storms. Localized flooding, also a concern as well. Again, a flood watch, I mean, beyond the tornado watch we're dealing with, yes, a flood watch is also in effect as well. So again, all these things are, pieces of the weather puzzle that, again, we're tracking again as we go through the evening. We're just looking at some new information coming in here as well. I want to go to Mike, and then I'm going to get to Eric. I want to come back to Mike. We had to interrupt him here in central Oklahoma. But again, we've got some heavy weather now moving through central Oklahoma, and we're going to have to get an update from Eric on that storm on the southern sides of the metro as well. So, Mike, looks like you're on I-240 now. Again, tell us exactly where you are, and let's get an update on this storm. So we had a bit of a hook trying to develop. It's not as pronounced right now, but again, for the evening commute in central Oklahoma, from Edmond all the way through downtown Oklahoma City, there is a lot of heavy rain, and there is ponding on the roadways. Mike, give us an update.
Yes, William. I'm going to be on I-240 and May, just past May a little bit ago. We're watching a storm that's going to be just north of Valley Brook right now. That's the storm that was trying to develop a little bit of a hook. It's still very low on this back side. There's still a lot of motion in the storm, but I'm not seeing anything that's going to warrant an immediate I'm not trying to scare anybody. That's what I should say there, William. But again, you hit the nail on the head when you said the ponding on the roadways. I know we're in a flash flood warning right now in this area, and William, I can tell you we've found many spots that there's water over the roadway already. So again, traffic is moving very slowly right now. We're definitely watching the storm. We're trying to get a little bit closer to it here. We're staying on it. But again, if you don't have to be out traveling, I would not do it. Stay in your safe place. Be prepared for these storms to move through your area today, William.
Yeah, no, great advice, Mike. And again, we're looking at your video there. Again, I-240 ponding on the roadways. It's looking quite wet. We need to get back to Eric Hobbs. And so, Eric, you're on that cell there on the far southern sides of the Oklahoma City Metro, down around the Purcell and Noble area. So, Eric, you're on the live line with us here. There was at least some broad rotation a few minutes ago. And looks like, tell us what we have going on here. We're looking at your video, Eric. Give us an update.
Yeah, William, I just turned to the north on 24 and have an even bigger lowering than the one I was looking at toward the west. And this looks like it might be moving right toward the Purcell area.
Yeah. Mike, Eric, let me ask you this. So we're looking at it. Video's a little grainy. We're looking at this carefully. So are we looking at the actual wall cloud? We see the actual lowering trying to develop. The spin rate product is still giving us some indications here. Again, just west of Purcell. So again, I'm looking at this through a TV screen just like everyone else is. You're actually there. I just want to verify. We're looking at the wall cloud. That's what you have centered up there. And is that the lowering that you're talking about, it basically in the center of your shot? Are we looking at that correctly from our vantage point here?
Yeah, we're going to move a little closer to Purcell here. We're heading north, like I said.
Go back to the screen.
We had stopped, so you might be able to get a good picture of that wall cloud.
Yeah.
So we're going to get in for a closer look.
Yeah, Eric, let's hang with it. Let's hang with that for just a second here. So tell us again exactly where you are. We're seeing this in real time, and I know you're going to try and get a little bit closer here momentarily. So again, we're looking at the wall cloud. There's definitely a defined area of lowering. Okay, and so a lot of times, and again, on days like today where it's very humid out there and hazy, it's easy to condensate. In other words, the actual funnel cloud, it's easy to see as it builds down because there's a lot of humidity. There's other days, especially earlier in the spring, and Eric's video will pop back in, there it is quickly, where sometimes you don't always get the condensate all the way down. Today should be a day we do get the condensate. It's so hazy out there and there's just so much humidity. But Eric, give us another update. Again, we're looking at the spin rate. Spin rate not necessarily crazy here, but it's giving us a good indication that we've got an area of spin. You've definitely got a lowering there. We've got to walk this now second by second as this essentially is tracking right towards the Purcell area.
Yeah. I'm currently right now, I am just about 4 miles due west of Wayne, Oklahoma. And it's getting harder to see the lowering because we are getting some really heavy rain here right now. No signs of any hail, but just really big, heavy rain.
It looks like, I just looped this, and it looks like this just occluded. And what I mean by that is we had a hook on it, and the hook itself is actually wrapped up in on itself. And so at least at this point in time, this very second in time, that's actually a good thing. But again, we're watching this in real time. This is still fairly well pronounced, Eric. But again, we had the hook just a few seconds ago, and then the hook is basically moved up in on itself. But again, folks, this is immediate an area of concern here for our friends over here in Purcell and portions of far western and southwestern Cleveland County. Again, what you're looking at live here, this is a wall cloud, and again, we definitely have a defined lowering. And again, we're going to continue to take that second by second. There was not a tornado warning associated with that at this time, but again, it's just one of those deals we've got to keep our eyes on. There's just no two ways about it, again, going forward. So let's do this. Who else do we have on the live line? I want to go back down to Trey. That's where we have the tornado warning currently in effect down for Cotton County. So tornado warning down in Cotton County. That does continue, and that's in effect until 5 p.m. Trey, you're still on the live line with us. Let's go back down there and let's check in with Trey. Trey, you're on the live line. Give us an update. Tell us exactly where you are now.
Yeah, I just am about to get off of the turnpike into Ramlet and turn around and go back, trying to get east into this tornado warning storm and get out ahead of it. The one that I was on that was down by Duval, it has lost its area of circulation, really, due to the one to the southeast of it. And so I'm going to try and get on this one that's to the southeast of it.
Hey, William.
Yeah, William, still headed toward Purcell on 24. The wall cloud had actually become embedded in rain. We couldn't see it from where we were, so we're repositioning. I'll tell you, that's a pretty significant lowering right there in front of me.
Your video may, Eric, your video may be frozen. I can't either that, or I don't know if you can maybe center it up. It's getting a little bit further to the right-hand side, and we're kind of intermittently losing it. So I don't. Okay, I think we're catching up, and I know your rule, and I think that's all it is. You're fairly rural, so we're just having to kind of deal with your video here a little bit. So it looks like you're involved in some rain, so we've kind of lost the perspective on it, and it looks like we're trying to catch up here. So as soon as your internet kind of catches up a little bit more, we should hopefully be able to get a better indication here of exactly what you're talking about. But again, we've been dealing with this kind of intermittent lowering, and it looked fairly well defined. Again, not a tornado, but a fairly well defined lowering. Yes, go ahead, Eric.
William?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like there might be even a small funnel starting to form.
Okay. Eric, you may need to start and stop your video, and we're just your video. It's lagging, and so we're not necessarily able to. It's just not.
Okay, I'll start and I'll be right back with you.
Okay. So we're going to keep dealing with tracking with Eric there. And who else do we have? Yes, go ahead. Who is this?
Okay, hey, I am facing to the west, just out of Rush Springs. I have numerous lowerings. I did find the wall cloud. It's just kind of clearing up. This thing is really still.
Okay, let's go. Okay, hold, guys.
On my view, I don't have very good data.
Okay, Peyton, Peyton, hold on for 1 second. We just want to be clear about the storms we're talking. We're all over the place. We have so much going on. Most of these storms are rotating. We only have one tornado warning for Cotton County in effect. Okay, so we want to be clear about that for the folks at home watching. There's one tornado warning. It's for Cotton County in southwestern Oklahoma. We have multiple other storms that are now producing wall clouds and also potentially some funnel cloud activity here as well. So we're now switching. I believe we're in Rush Springs now. We'll update that to Rush Springs. Peyton, you're on the line. I didn't want to interrupt you, but again, we're looking at your storm here as well. This is the one that has had intermittent rotation with it. You're in the Rush Springs area, southern Grady County, and again, we can see some of this definition now, the wall cloud. But Peyton, give us an update, and again, tell us again exactly where you are.
Hey, I'm just south of Rush Springs, looking to my west. I did find the wall cloud, and it's split out from the rain just a little bit. There is a pretty prominent funnel hanging down from it, though. I'm looking, like I said, straight to my west out of Rush Springs, maybe a mile south of Rush Springs. It's in and out of being covered in rain, though. I'm trying to do the best I can.
Okay, and we're going to continue, and I know your audio, it's a little intermittent. We're going to try and keep just checking in with you there. So again, we're talking about a potential lowering there around the Rush Springs area. And so let's hit the spin rate here as well. Let's go and hit the spin rate on this one. And again, folks, I know we're bouncing around on these storms, but again, we're trying to be as clear as possible of the storms that we're talking about. So even looking at the spin rate, we have an area of spin. You can see very well defined here over the Rush Springs area. There's the wall cloud. And so again, this is what Peyton has his eyes on. We're tracking this carefully. We're tracking a wall cloud here around the Rush Springs area. We're also tracking a wall cloud moving towards the Purcell area, and we've got one tornado warning currently in effect for Cotton County in southwestern Oklahoma. We have a lot of locally heavy rain in the Oklahoma City metro, and we're going to look at Mike's video on that coming up again momentarily. So Rush Springs, southern Grady County, severe storm here, and again, we do have an area of spin that we're watching carefully. But what I want to do is I want to actually go back now to Cleveland County, and I want to check back in with Eric. I know he was kind of working on his video there. He had a fairly well-pronounced wall cloud just a few minutes ago. Eric, we're looking at your video again here. Tell us where you are now and give us an update on this cell moving into the Purcell area. Eric, are you on the live line?
Oh, right now. Yeah, I'm here. You got me?
Yep, go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, we're actually to the southwest of now. The wall cloud actually looks like it's trying to reorganize. It looks like it's recycling right now. It's not as defined as it once was when we had it earlier, but we're going to make our way east here a little bit and see if we can't get back out in front of it and maybe get between the rain and it, because it's some rather heavy precipitation between it and us right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I can still see it, but it's just not as defined.
Yeah, and we're still picking it up here on the spin rate as well. And so it's really not a lot of change here. But again, this will be an area of spin moving up here towards the Purcell area. So again, I just want to preface, I know we've got a lot of folks joining us now on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, and I just want to be very clear, even when we're talking about areas of spin, that does not mean an immediate tornado threat. A lot of these storms will be spinning as we go through the evening. Moderate risk of severe weather, tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. And again, there's an opportunity of tornadic activity. That does not mean all of these storms will go on to do that. But these areas of spin that we're watching, those can go on to produce tornadic activity. And that's why we're watching these carefully, again, with our storm trackers there in the field. So that's an update there from Eric. That's around the Purcell area. I want to go back up to the north. I want to check back in with Mike. And Peyton, we'll get back to your wall cloud coming up momentarily as well. But I want to go into central Oklahoma and the Oklahoma City Metro. And so, Mike, you're on the live line now with us, and we've had a lot of locally heavy rain here in central Oklahoma. Again, the evening commute, it looks quite wet. And let's center this up. Just let's zoom it out a little bit, Chris, and let's kind of center this up. So we've got heavy rain here. Important information for the evening commute. Edmond, heavy rain all the way back over through Arcadia, Lake Arcadia, back over through Pops, Lake Hiwassee. Heavy rain moving in here. Severe thunderstorm warning here as well. It extends all the way through downtown Oklahoma City here, all the way back through the Bethany area, and some of this heavy rain extends all the way down through the North Moore area, I-240, I-35, I-40, I-44 Turner, and then again there's Old 35 going to the north there as well. Broadway extension would be here. And so again, locally heavy rain involved for most of Oklahoma County. Let's go to the hail core tracker. And as we do that, look at this hail core, and let's zoom in on this just a little bit. Mike, we're going to get to you momentarily. I know you're waiting there on the live line, but this hail core, this is a larger hail core here, folks. And so again, you can see essentially from the Turner Turnpike, I-35, this is now just east of the Broadway extension, but straight down I-35, basically to I-40 there, out to the east. Highway 66 here. Again, you can see oranges, reds, a little bit of purple mixing in there. That's a large hail core moving essentially right through where a lot of folks are taking their evening commute home. Going on 5 p.m. on this Tuesday, a lot of folks are driving through this general area, and there's an opportunity for golf ball size hail. That will do damage to your car. If you don't have to get out and about right now, if you can kind of shelter at work, so to speak, for at least a little bit longer, I would not get out in this. This is what you call a hailstorm here. There's heavy rain that's going to cause some problems on the roadways, but this is a bona fide hailstorm. Large area here of golf balls possible. So again, essentially from 44, the Turner, heading up towards Tulsa, all the way back down through 66 and 40 out eastbound. I-35 here. Again, an opportunity for some golf ball size hail. You don't want to be involved in that. I can tell you that, again, even outside of the locally heavy rain threat. I want to go back to Mike Russ. He's on the live line with us. We're looking at his video. And Mike, go ahead and give us an update.
Yes, William. I'm going to be on Southeast 44th and Sunny Lane Road, or Sunny Lane Drive here. Sorry about that. I'm tracking back north. And William, just like you said, definitely stay off the roads if you don't have to get out. If your office will let you kind of sit there and wait these storms out, I would. At least that first initial line that's moving through the metro right now. William, everything I can see from down here with many years of experience of storm chasing here, I'm seeing a lot of a green hue to this storm just to my north here, and that's going to be in the I-40 area, Midwest City, Del City area. And William, I can tell you that to me shows that there's going to be some pretty significant hail falling in that area right now. So again, if you don't have to get out, definitely don't get out. Just kind of stay put, stay where you're at. Lots of ponding on the roadways where it has been raining. But again, so far here in the metro, we've seen a few areas of broad rotation with a lot of scud clouds, a lot of rising motion. But so far, William, Oklahoma City is kind of dodging the bullet on those tornado warnings and immediate tornado threat at this moment. But we're still out here. We're watching this very carefully. So again, William, as soon as I have something for you, I will check back in. But I can tell you again, like I said earlier, if a storm is in your area and we say, or somebody says seek shelter, don't go out trying to look at the storm. Definitely go ahead and seek your shelter, get into your shelter spot, because these storms today, with all the haze, the high rainfall rates out of these storms, you're not going to see it until it's right on top of you, William.
Okay, Mike, really appreciate that update. Good advice there as well. I want to go just down to the south, and I want to come back down here to the immediate Purcell area. And so again, as we're looking down here in the Purcell area, this is where we have Eric Hobbs. And so this has been a fairly mean storm. Now it's essentially moving up through the Slaughterville area. Severe thunderstorm warning continues here. And as we go to the spin rate product, we've still got this defined area of spin. It's essentially right along I-35. And well, as it turns out, that looks like exactly where Eric is. Eric, we're looking at your video, and you're down there around the Purcell area. So as we're looking at this, we've still kind of got this very broad area of spin. We've had a hook from time to time intermittently with this as well. North of the Purcell, here's Purcell here, Slaughterville, Noble, I-35 here, Old 77 there. And so we're talking about Cleveland County, area of yellow. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. And so, Eric, you've got eyes on it. You did have fairly pronounced lowering. This was maybe 10 minutes ago. But tell us where you are exactly now and give us an update on this storm.
Yeah, William, I am on I-35 toward the north side of Purcell. It's very ominous-looking lowerings ahead of us. Once again, it still looks like this is trying to recycle, but you can definitely make out a lowering here. And also, these clouds are starting to take on somewhat of a green hue down here, so hail may be in the not-so-distant future.
We're watching it. It's really raggedy. The velocities within the storm are really raggedy, but the algorithm that the computer uses, the spin rate product, it continues to kind of pick out the mesocyclone within the storm. So this storm looks, for lack of a better word, it looks rough. Does not look very well organized. But this is one that bears watching, and out of everything we've seen, at least kind of in our coverage area, if you will, so far today, at least this evening compared to earlier today, this one had a fairly well-defined lowering that, again, we had maybe 10 minutes ago. The problem with today, and again, we can still kind of see at least, and you can see the bell shape. So this right here, this is the wall cloud. It's now just becoming visible in Eric's shot. The problem with today, there's a lot of rain, there's a lot of haze, it's very humid out there, it's hard to see, but can you see this bell shape? See that bell shape? So that right there, that's the wall cloud. And you can actually see the striations when the video comes back in. See the striations? That's the area of spin there. Eric, if you can, and I know the video, it's about 30 seconds delayed. If you can, center that wall cloud back up. It's right there to the right. If you can, let's get that centered back up. And let's go and have another look at this here. And again, this is the one that had a fairly well-pronounced lowering. Again, this is maybe 10 minutes ago. And at least as we've gone through the late afternoon, again, compared to earlier today where we had tornado warnings as well, this has been the most pronounced. So again, Eric's video just kind of in and out. We're dealing with it. Again, he's pretty in a rural area there. And so we'll just see as he kind of comes back through the tree line. We'll take one more look at this. And then we're going to get down to Peyton. Peyton, I know you're waiting down there around the Rush Springs area on the live line. We're going to get to you as well. You've had a lowering from time to time. Still looking pretty raggedy compared to where it was earlier, Eric. Again, looking at the video a few minutes ago, we saw at least the definition of the wall cloud and the mesocyclone, but at least now, unless we're not totally centered up here, which we may not be. Go ahead.
William?
Eric, go ahead.
Hey, William, I can tell here on I-35, we just come through some fairly stiff winds coming out of the west heading into the storm.
Okay.
So, like I said, I think it's trying to recycle. We're going to get in a reposition where we can catch that wall cloud for you again, and we'll get back with you on it. But it's some very strong winds we just went through on I-35 coming out of the west.
Okay, I want to break from here. Eric, we're going to get back to you coming up here momentarily. But what I want to do, I want to get back down here into Grady County. Now, this storm no longer officially severe, but there has been a lot of intermittent rotation with this storm. This is down here around Rush Springs, and I think we've still got a defined area at least a wall cloud. So we're looking at this if we get the centered back up. I think there we go. Now it's coming back to within range. That's almost kind of the tail cloud coming off of it with some inflow coming into it there. So Peyton, you're on the live line with us. We're still looking at this. Again, this is southern Grady County. The Oklahoma City Metro would be up in here. Southern Grady County here, Highway 81. There's Agram, there's Rush Springs. And so we've also got this broad area of spin here as well, north now of Rush Springs. And again, we're looking at your wall cloud, inflow coming into it. This storm officially, though, not severe, but there's been some spin with it as we've gone through the late afternoon. Give us an update on that one, Peyton.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I was here still, right around the Rush Springs area. That torrential rain for this story down here, man. It is really raining. I don't know if you can see my stream very well, but I do have the wall cloud right here in front of us. Coming up here by the windmills, you should be able to see it after this little turn up here. But then, like you said, it's rotating, everything is spinning. Really, the main story, like I said, though, is just torrential rain. It is raining hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can see it from there. We've got a new tornado warning down here, and this is going to be for Jackson and Stevens County. So I want to go back down further to the south. And I believe, do we still have Trey on the live line? Trey, do we still have you down there? Let's go on. Let's walk that down. Let's walk the radar on down. So let's take a look here. Let's bring that up if we can. Let's go and center this up here. And so we've got a brand new tornado warning down here. And so again, as we go and take a look at this, it looks like it's most likely going to be, and it's just now populating. So give us just a second for that to go and come on up. And hey, by the way, Peyton, you may need to go and start dropping back further to the south on this tornado warning. That Rush Springs one, again, you may, I'll leave it up to you. You may want to let that one go and start coming back on down here to the south. But again, we do have a new tornado warning. It will be popping up here again just momentarily. And so again, this is going to be down here in southwestern Oklahoma. And again, this is going to be just now coming out for Cotton Jefferson and Stevens County. Cotton Jefferson and Stevens County. Trey, do we still have you on the live line? Trey, are you still on the live line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Trey, I think you're just south of this storm. Tell me where you are now exactly, and we'll let you go ahead and get centered up here as well. But where are you at now exactly?
I am southwest of Hastings, west of Waurika on 70.
Okay, perfect.
I just got done driving through some quarter-size hail, trying to get ahead of the storm that is tornado warned and get turned around so I can see it.
Yep, Trey, as soon as you get your video up, it looks like your video just kind of temporarily is down, but we want to see your video. So Trey's right down here on Highway 70, and in fact, Trey's in basically perfect position. So as soon as your video, and let us know if you're having any cell problems or anything. Otherwise, you should be able to pop the video up. But again, this is the storm right down here. There's the hook. This has produced some tornadic activity in North Texas. This is the Red River here. Trey's right here in Waurika. There's Highway 70. So he's looking directly at that storm. And so Trey, if you're still on the live line with us, I know it gets pretty rural and pretty spotty down there. And we may have lost Trey temporarily there off the live line, but he should be able to get his video coming back up fairly quickly. But again, I just want to reiterate, again, if you're down there essentially in really the Waurika area, and in fact, all the way back up into portions of really almost as far north as Comanche, you've got to be taking your immediate tornado precautions now. And that would include basically that Highway 70 corridor, again, really as far east as Waurika. And then essentially there, Highway 81 back up through Comanche, Temple. Again, some of those hometowns, again, be taking your immediate tornado precautions. This is a brand new tornado warning here. And again, this storm, it has produced intermittent tornadic activity in North Texas. Again, we've got Trey, one of our storm trackers down there on this. And again, he's right there. I mean, he just needs to kind of get back into within cell phone range, so to speak. And again, as soon as he does, we're going to be checking back in with him. But again, he's just down there. It's fairly rural where he is now, just west of the Waurika area. But again, this has produced at least some intermittent tornadic activity. And again, even as we're looking at new information coming in here, it looks like there is still an opportunity, again, for that storm to continue to produce tornadic activity. So again, Waurika, as far north as Comanche, Highway 81, Highway 70 westbound, Temple. Again, essentially, and also that Highway 70, you know, there's some rural areas in there. They're not necessarily hometowns, but there are some houses, some ranches, some farms right there along Highway 70 and right there along the Red River Valley. So again, if you live in those general areas, again, heads up, you need to be taking your immediate tornado precautions right now. And again, as soon as we get Trey back on the live line, we're going to check back in with that storm but again, that is in extremely far southwestern Oklahoma. I want to do this. I want to jump back to the north, and I want to check back in with Eric quickly, and then we're going to get back into Oklahoma City with Mike Russ. So again, folks, we're just bouncing around a lot today, and I understand that, but we have a lot going on from the Oklahoma border up into portions of central Oklahoma. And so we're going to continue to bounce in with our storm trackers and continue to look and see what's going on. Now, this storm here in Cleveland County officially no longer severe warned, but it has had, in fact, this storm here really had a fairly well-pronounced lowering. This was probably about 20 minutes ago now. We had it live here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. It was very well pronounced and very well organized. Since then, the storm, it's gradually weakened some. It's now north of the Purcell area. Cleveland County here, Purcell, Noble, Norman. Again, there's the I-35 corridor, Old 77 there. And so, Eric, we're still looking at your video. You're on it. I wanted to check back in with this storm, but it appears, though, that it's now really beginning to weaken. And again, this storm officially no longer severe. But what do you have? Bring us an update on this. Eric, if you're on the live line.
Yeah, William. Actually got ourselves repositioned to the north, trying to cut over and intercept this. This thing's moving rapidly to the east, and I almost having trouble keeping up with it. But as soon as I can get you a good shot, I will. I'll get that for you. Just trying to work my way over there, and where we're at right now, just rain, heavy rain right now, and like I said, we're just to the north of that storm, so we're trying to work our way back.
Okay, we'll continue to check in with that. I want to dip back down. I think we just got Trey back on the live line, and that's the tornado.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, down in southern Oklahoma, Trey. So I knew you were kind of having trouble there with cell phone signal, and I think we've got your video up now as well. And so, okay, let's get this pulled up here. So this is important information now. Yeah, Trey, we've got you. Go ahead. You're down there on Highway 70 west of Waurika. Tornado warning down here now. And again, the tornado warning from Temple, Oklahoma, really back over towards Waurika. Highway 70, almost as far east as Highway 81, back up towards Comanche. Again, we're talking about southwestern Oklahoma. Trey, we're looking at your video coming in. Tell us exactly where you are and give us a live update.
All right, I am sitting on Highway 70 just east of the Cotton County line. Looking back to my west-southwest, I have a broad area of rotation, no defined wall cloud yet that I can see out of this. It is pretty hazy, and I'm having to stay back further than I would like to due to cell phone reception. So I do have this. You can kind of see it in my shot here. There's a bit of a bell shape to this big area. This is the main updraft of this storm. Let me see if I can position the camera just a little bit more. There's some lightning. We're really close to the lightning. And on the right side of my screen, there's going to be that main updraft right there, the right side of it. We drove through that, trying to get out ahead of it, and we drove through it. The biggest I saw was quarter-size hail, maybe $50.
Okay, and this is crossing the Red River right now, Trey. And so, again, this is the Red River Valley right through here. There's the hook right back in there. There's Waurika, Highway 70 here, Highway 81 back in here, Temple, Oklahoma here. So the red box, that's the tornado warning, but you can see where the hook is. The hook is right back in here. This has produced tornadic activity across portions of North Texas. It's just now crossing the Red River. It's just now crossing the Red River into Oklahoma. There's the bell shape. See that Trey's talking about, bell-shaped mesocyclone here. So he's parked on the side of the road. That's why it looks a little crooked. He's parked on the side of the road, so the video is just a little bit tilted. It's really hazy and humid. It's a little bit harder today to see into these things, but we've really got a fairly good shot here, Trey. We're able to see right back into the mesocyclone, and I know we're having to look through it through a TV here, but as you're looking at it in real time, again, are you seeing?
It's lost its severe warning.
Are you able to see? And that's going to be northeast, so we're not going to do that. Are you able, from your location for sure, to be able to see if there's any lowering or anything else involved with this storm, again, from your vantage point right now?
Right now, I do not see a lowering. I don't even see a really well-defined wall cloud at this point. But then again, like I said, that's really close lightning right there. I am having to stay back a little bit farther than I'd like to for cell phone reception. But I do know on the radar it does have some really high velocity data on it.
Yeah, okay, Trey. So, I mean, we're monitoring this with you again, minute by minute. Again, we're talking about southwestern Oklahoma. Again, tornado warning continues here. And again, specifically, let's zoom this in just a little bit tighter. This is specifically up here around the Highway 70 corridor. We're going to check in with some of our other storms. And the reason why we want to stick with this one has produced tornadic activity down across portions of North Texas. It's just now crossing. See, there's the Red River. See that right there? Red River Valley here. Highway 70, this is where Trey is. There's Warrika, so he's just west of Warrika, and he's looking directly in. See the hook right there? There's the hook. He's looking right into it, and that's what we're seeing here. And again, there's the bell-shaped mesocyclone, the back end of it. And again, from Trey's vantage point right now, even though there's a tornado warning, we're not necessarily seeing that tornado or even a well-defined lowering with this storm. That can change quick. This has already produced tornadic activity in North Texas. So again, we've got eyes on this tornado warning. Right now, at this time, there is not a tornado involved with this storm. Now, that does not mean that you don't need to be taking your tornado precautions. Again, you need to be doing that. And again, from Warrika all the way back over through Temple, and really talking about as far east as the Highway 81 corridor, and especially all kind of the rural farm and some of the ranches there along Highway 70, right down there along the Red River. So again, you've got to be taking those immediate tornado precautions. There's the base of the storm. There's the wall cloud. You can actually see the defined wall cloud now. If there was going to be anything spinning up, it would be right back in here. But we've got a fairly good vantage point of it. Trey, you're doing a great job there. I want to go to the north now, and we're going to break away from the tornado warning. I want to come back here into central Oklahoma. Again, the evening commute, a lot of folks, again, on their evening commute. So what we're going to do, we're just going to kind of double box that there. And I want to come back to Mike Russ. And so, Mike, you're in central Oklahoma. I believe we still have you on the live line, and we may have just lost Mike's video. Mike, but you're on the live line. Tell us exactly where you are now, and give us an update with what's going on here in central Oklahoma.
Yes, I'm on Southeast 42nd and excuse me, and Anderson Road out here. I'm actually traveling back north. I'm trying to stay out ahead of this. I'm going to be a little bit east of Midwest City, and I apologize. The road that we're on is a little bit rural here, so that's why we're having some issues. But again, William, we're traveling where we can actually kind of get intermixed in the storm and see what's going on. But we're not seeing any true rotation that's low to the ground at this time or anything. But again, this storm still means business. There's a lot of motion in this storm. But again, this is a very intense storm still. The rainfall rates are just ridiculous. I can tell you when we came through Del City, we found a couple of roads that were completely inundated with rainwater there, William.
Yeah, no, okay, Mike, so we're watching that with you as well. The one thing that kind of has our attention here, we're watching carefully, is just kind of the back end where we kind of have this appendage. It looks a little concerning, but as we're looking through velocities, at least right now, there's no immediate area of spin associated with it. But again, you can just see, if you're looking at radar, you see that. And again, from time to time, it does look a little bit concerning. As we go back to reflectivity here, again, you can see kind of that back end appendage. And again, some folks may say, hey, it looks a little scary, but at least right now, there's no associated area of spin with that. So that's going to continue tracking off to the east. Mike's video, he's looking at it. There's been a lot of locally heavy rain. There are traffic slowdowns in the Oklahoma City metro. Take your time going on 5:15 evening commute time frame. Take your time on your evening commute. There are traffic slowdowns in the Oklahoma City metro, again, because of the heavy rain that has been falling, again, as we've gone through the late afternoon. I want to do this, just looking at some other video coming in here. Let's go back down to the tornado warning with Trey. Trey, we're still looking at your video, the tornado warning down here in southwestern Oklahoma. And again, we're talking about really locations like Hastings, all the way back over through the Addington area, back up to and near Comanche, Highway 81, Highway 70, again, the Red River Valley there. We've had a storm here that's produced some tornadic activity down across portions of North Texas. It is now just west of the Warrika area. You've got eyes on it. And as we look at this here, give us an update we can see the base, the bell-shaped base here, very evidently. I can see a bit of a wall cloud feature there on the back end of it. But again, you've got such a great shot. We're able to see down in there that there is not a defined lowering at this time. Again, that does not mean you don't need to be taking your immediate tornado precautions. This can change very quickly. But again, Trey, from your shot, and again, you're there looking at it, I'm looking at it through a TV screen. Right now, I'm not seeing a defined lowering. I'm seeing kind of a weak, if you will, a weak wall cloud and a fairly substantial mesocyclone as far as the structure goes. But give us an update there from the ground.
Yeah, I'm trying to reposition a little bit. I'm going to try and get back behind the wall cloud here, or the area of rotation, and just follow it. So I'm trying to real quick find a highway or a paved road that will take me that route.
Okay, so we're going to continue to check in. So are you still right there along Highway 70, Trey, or tell me where you are right now exactly?
Yeah, I'm still on Highway 70 right now.
What I would do if I was you, and as soon as you begin to lose your shot, because right now you've really got a good shot of this, we've got an open range there to really look down in this thing. If I was you, because this is really tracking more northeast here, Hastings and Addington, this should stay just north of Waurika, just north of Highway 70, but it's going to be approaching the Highway 81 corridor. I would head back towards Waurika and then try and, as this lifts to the north of Waurika, I would try and follow it there up Highway 81. If it holds together, it could be approaching the Comanche area. Again, if it would hold together, again, over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. But the immediate path, it's Hastings and then eventually back up towards the Addington area. Again, staying just north there of the Waurika area. But that's going to be tracking almost parallel there to Highway 81. So again, that's kind of the route I would take, again, if I was you, again, down in that area. So I want to do this.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn her back around real quick.
Perfect. And we're going to check right back in with Trey. So again, right now you're seeing it live. No immediate tornado on the ground. Tornado warning does continue. And tornado warning does continue down there for Cotton, Jefferson, and Stevens County. That's until 5:45 this evening. Again, tornado precautions, especially if you're in the Hastings area, Addington, Highway 70, Highway 81 corridor. If I was in Waurika, I would still be taking my tornado precautions. If you have friends, family, loved ones down there, call them, text them, make sure they're taking their tornado precautions. By the way, Coram, even though you're on the far northern fringes of that tornado warning, you still need to be taking your tornado precautions. Comanche, right there at the Highway 81 junction in Comanche, you folks really need to be paying attention to this storm. In general, it's going to be moving up your way. Let's do this. Let's also go back into Cleveland County, and that's where we have Eric, and he's north of Purcell. And so we've been watching this storm as we go just a little bit further up to the north. It's really dissipating. I mean, it's dissipating, but it's still kind of got that structure to it where a lot of these storms, they've just got so much mid-level rotation to them that you kind of see this appendage on the backside. Very similar to, I mean, look at this, what's going on across portions of Oklahoma County. But this one did have a very well-pronounced lowering, and this was probably 35 minutes ago, Eric. You had that as it was crossing I-35. It was a well-pronounced lowering. In fact, for, maybe a minute or two, it would really appear to be fairly concerning. So right now, this storm is no longer severe. Highway 9 here, there's pink. This would be eastern Norman here. Lake Thunderbird right back up in here. Locally heavy rain, vivid lightning. Let's look at the Hellcore tracker with this one. And as we look at the Hellcore tracker, again, still an opportunity for possibly, we may be trying to push some quarters, even though this isn't officially severe. Right there along Highway 9, there could be some penny to possibly quarter-size hail here. But that's going to be pushing over here into portions of Pottawatomie County quickly. This one's moving fast now, right around 45 miles per hour. As we go back to reflectivity, Eric, you've been watching this one. We're still looking at the video. This one weakened quick, but it's still kind of holding its own, if you will. Again, non-severe, eastern Cleveland County. Give us an update here.
Yeah, William, we weren't able to catch up with that storm, but out ahead of us, I don't know if you caught that on my screen or not, that we got some vivid lightning going on, so we're kind of watching that area as it moves this direction to see what develops.
Eric, appreciate that update there. Let's see, we've got Peyton Epperly here too. We want to check in with him. I know he was tracking some activity around the Rush Springs area that weekend fairly quickly. Peyton, I just want to check back in with you. Tell us where you are now and give us an update. Tell us where you are now. Are you still there in the Rush Springs area?
No, sir. I dropped a little bit farther south, and I'm on Highway 81, about to go west on Highway 7. I can see a wall cloud. There's a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning over here, and as we drove through Marlow, there was some light flooding, standing water in the roads, stuff like that. So, just if you're out, you have to be out. Please be careful. You don't want to hydroplane. But I'm getting in position. I'll have a shot here for you in probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Back to you.
Really great job on that as well, Peyton. But tell me again, I know you said you were going through the Marlow area, so you're dropping south on 81 there. I can see kind of this broad area of spin here on the spin rate product looking down towards Oil City. Now, when you're saying you're seeing a wall cloud, where exactly are you looking? So just so we can kind of, we've got several areas of spin going on here. In fact, even that tornado warning to the south. So again, you're in Marlow. Are you looking down to the southwest, down towards Oil City, or which direction are you looking at?
Yes, sir. I'm looking down to the southwest. I'm trying to get in better position to see if I can show you, but it is just to my south right now. It's very rugged. You couldn't be able to pronounce it very much. Like I said, it's a lot of rain, but it is there and it is apparent, and there is rotation.
Okay, so we're watching that as well. Let's go to the velocities real quick here. And so even, I tell you what, Peyton, the velocities are really pointing this out. And so, even not just necessarily using the spin rate, we are getting some indications here on velocities here as well. This at least trying to kind of spin up a little bit. So we're going to continue to watch this. Let's go back to reflectivity. And so we're just kind of looking in here. So again, this is all just an area of locally heavy rain here, lots of vivid lightning. And again, so we're going to continue to kind of watch the insides of these storms as well. But again, there's the Marlow area, Highway 81. And so again, Peyton basically looking down in there. Again, there's his video. And right now, all we're essentially seeing is a lot of locally heavy rain. But again, our guys are all over this today, as they typically are on these days when we're talking about tornadoes in Oklahoma. Right now, the good news is we've had a couple tornadoes earlier in the day, but at least so far now, late this afternoon, heading into the early evening, we have had some tornado warnings down to the southwest, but currently no confirmed tornadoes ongoing. Hey, Mike, if you can, let's get your video back up. Let's zoom this out all the way, and let's go to the red X, and let's just red X it right there, up right here, and let's take this all the way out. And as we do that, I just want to take a look at a whole here. And so what we're going to do, we're going to break away from the video just momentarily. And so this is what we have going on. So depending on where you are in Oklahoma, again, going on 5:20 now on this Tuesday evening, severe weather ongoing across parts of Oklahoma, not all of Oklahoma. And so we've got in the area of green, we've got a tornado watch in effect. This is in effect until 11 p.m. Central, southern, eastern Oklahoma, tornado watch until 11 p.m. We have this boundary that is draped across Oklahoma. We now have approaching jet stream motion here as well. We have a moderate risk of severe weather. We have the potential doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the potential for tornadoes, potentially strong tornadoes as we go through the evening. And again, you can see these cluster of storms that are basically hugging this boundary. Now, as we go through the evening, the big question will be what storms can get some type of separation away from the other storms to basically breathe in enough instability to potentially produce some type of tornadic activity. It may not happen, or it may happen. And that's why we're tracking this so carefully. But again, definitely this evening, it is an evening. You want to stay weather alert. You want to make sure you have a way to get pertinent weather information. The Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV mobile app, of course, a great way. But again, there's a lot of other ways to get information as well. But again, today and really this evening, it's one of those evenings where you want to make sure you're able to stay weather alert, get weather information, and again, heaven forbid, if there was any type of tornado warning issued for your area, you've got to be ready to act. You've got to be ready to take your tornado precautions. Again, it may not even happen. It may not even come to that. We're not trying to stress anybody out or give you anxiety, but you also have to be prepared as well when you have a moderate risk of severe weather and there's a tornado watch in effect. So we just want to be clear about that and just make sure everybody kind of understands the situation and the general threat now as we head deeper into the evening. Let's go back here into central Oklahoma. Let's go and zoom that in just to central Oklahoma. And as we do that, what we're doing, we're basically looking at a lot of locally heavy rain here. And so right now we do continue with that one lone severe thunderstorm warning here, and this is what Mike Russ has been on. This has essentially moved through portions of Oklahoma County, and I believe Mike's video is back up. I want to go back to Mike. Again, we're just going to keep kind of tag teaming here with our storm trackers. We're going to get back to that tornado warning down to the south coming up here momentarily as well. But so Mike, we're looking at your video, and your video is just kind of in and out a little bit, so we'll keep dealing with that. But as we're looking at that, you've been tracking this activity across portions of central Oklahoma. What do we have there in the background? Give us an update, what we're looking at there.
Yes, William. I've actually got a wall cloud out here just northeast of the Choctaw area right now. I apologize as we come through some trees. I've got the camera pan through the area of rotation here. At this time, it does not look like it's close to producing a tornado or anything, so I don't want to worry anybody. But it definitely is a well-pronounced wall cloud here with all the signatures of inflow and everything here. Yeah. But if nothing else, it's definitely trying to maximize the hailstone sizes here in kind of the east.
And Mike may have just kind of hit a dead spot there, so we're going to keep watching his video coming in. And again, we do want to see that. So Mike kind of going through maybe a bit of a dead spot there. And as soon as he comes out on the other side, hopefully his video and audio will kick right back in. But we want to keep our eye on that. Again, severe thunderstorm warning here. And so again, he's out there around the Choctaw area. And so it looks like it's starting to come back in there. So hopefully Mike's audio will kick back in as well. But again, he's got a wall cloud out there. On radar, there's not, at least at the lower levels right now, a lot of concern as far as the velocities go or even the spin rate. But it was a fairly impressive looking wall cloud. I just kind of saw that when it popped up just a few seconds ago. But Mike, if you're still on the live line, we'll try and get kind of a clearer shot of this as soon as you kind of get through some of the bridges and the trees and stuff here. But there's the wall cloud over there. And so we've been watching this cell. There's a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning here, but kind of these back end appendages, whenever you start getting those, and of course you have a tornado watch in effect, that always causes for a little bit of extra concern. And so that's what we're watching. So at least right now on radar, there's nothing jumping out saying, hey, there's any immediate tornado threat, but we want to ground verify and actually look at the storm and see what's going on here as soon as he kind of gets clear here again so we can see the wall cloud. Mike, is your audio back? Are you still on the live line with us?
Yes, William, okay. I am here.
So we lost you. Your video, it's just kind of, again, we're just kind of dealing with it. As soon as you can get a shot of that wall cloud, let's go and take another look at that. So you cut out a second ago. You're still involved in some heavy rain there, obviously. On radar, there's nothing necessarily sticking out right this second, but tell us again exactly where you are. And again, as soon as you kind of get a chance to get centered up there, we'll take another look at that wall cloud.
Yes, William. We're a little bit inundated in rain here, just north of the Choctaw area, northeast, just southwest of Jones here. I'm trying to see if we can make a right-hand turn here, William, and try to get out, kind of punch out ahead of this. We're actually going to be northeast 36 and Choctaw Road is where we're at exactly, William. Now we're having a little bit of a rough time actually seeing the wall cloud now. Due to the heavy rain here, but it was appearing like it was trying to kind of come down in intensity right before we got inundated with the rain here on Choctaw Road, Williams.
Okay.
But again, this is still a very mean looking storm. Still, I'm seeing a lot of green hues. This still looks like a impressive storm. I know the rainfall rate. These are just huge water droplets falling from the sky right now, Williams.
Okay, Mike, so we're going to continue to watch that. As soon as we kind of get that shot queued back up, we'll come back to you. So we're watching this one carefully. At least the good news is a lot of the heavy rain, it's now pushing over into eastern Oklahoma County as folks are getting ready for their evening commute. Again, a lot of the locally heavy rain now pushing over into eastern Oklahoma County. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. I want to go back to the hail core tracker here. And that was part of the problem. Let's zoom that in just a little bit. That was part of the problem with this storm, is that it had just this elongated hail core. And I mean, just geographically speaking here, from Lincoln County all the way back in here into portions of eastern Oklahoma County, you're seeing blues, aquas, and some yellows, and that would be an opportunity of some $quarter and $half size hail. And so this moved directly across Oklahoma County between about 4 and 5 o'clock, especially the eastern sides of Oklahoma County, as a lot of folks were at least preparing for that evening commute, possibly on that evening commute. And again, when you're talking about $half+ size hail, that can do some damage. That's primarily moving right up the Turner. See that red line there? So that's the Turner Turnpike, Lincoln County here. But again, still that opportunity for hail, and that's why these storms right now primarily are severe warned. We looked inside the storm. Velocities right now not showing anything too concerning. But again, just a few minutes ago, Mike did have that fairly well pronounced wall cloud. So we're going to get back to that. Again, coming up here momentarily. I want to go back. We got to go back down to the south, and we need to check back in with Trey. And that's where we've continued to have this tornado warning down here. And Trey's really rural, so we may have just a little bit of trouble with his video from time to time. But Trey, you've been down here around the Waurika area. And as we take a closer look down here, I believe that let's see, take that just a little bit further on down to the south. And so, Trey, you're down here in that area. That storm looks like it's weakened now fairly quickly as it's continued to lift off to the north. Give us an update from down there.
Yeah, William, that storm has weakened quite a bit. I'm still heading north on Highway 81, just out of Waurika. I'm going to try and get up here to Comanche, and this line of storms over Walters has got a nice-sized hail core on it. It's a really, really weird-looking shape in the line, too. So I'm going to go up there and see what that's all about.
Yeah, that tornado warning down there, it's actually been dropped, so it's no longer even in effect. So that storm, it dramatically weakened, extremely quickly. So just from, the 5 to 10 minutes that we were last looking at it, again, that storm dramatically weakened down there. So we'll continue to track that, but right now the tornado warning in southwestern Oklahoma, that has been canceled. That is great news. But let's move the radar here. Let's go back just a little bit further back to the west. Let's kind of zoom that out. There's a lot of locally heavy rain. Severe thunderstorm warning still continues down here, basically from Granfield up through Walters, Geronimo, and this basically extends all the way up through the Marlow area. Severe thunderstorm warning here. Let's look at the hail core tracker on this quickly. And the hail core tracker here is definitely showing, wow, especially right there. Look at that, just west of Walters. There could be some golf ball size hail here. And so we're seeing the yellows and the oranges, golf balls possible. And in fact, the warning, they'll reissue that warning, even though that warning was just now dropping off. This is still severe hail here. And that's essentially right there. We're talking about from the Marlow area all the way back down here through the Walters area. And again, where you're seeing the smattering there of aqua, yellow, and orange. There's an opportunity there for some golf ball size hail. Let's get a different perspective of that storm. Let's go to Peyton Epperly, and he's just north of there. Peyton, tell us where you are now exactly. And I know you've been eyeballing this storm for a good portion of the afternoon. You were in the Marlow area the last time we talked to you. Tell us where you are now and give us an update.
Yes, William. I'm in between Marlow and Duncan, just kind of hanging out, waiting for this little area rotation on radar to come through. Really just kind of doing what you need me to, man. If you need me to drop south, I will. Just let me know.
Let's go back. Let's go back to reflectivity here. I think for right now, let's just kind of stay where you are. Let's zoom this out just a little bit, and we'll continue to kind of look at this cell. Right now, this is a hailstorm, and so there are embedded areas of spin. Right now, nothing so much sticking out to me, but again, from Cox City to Marlow, all the way back down through Geronimo, talking about the Walters area there as well. Locally heavy rain, vivid lightning, and there is an opportunity for hail with this activity. So again, you're looking at Peyton's video. Again, he's basically there around the Marlow-Duncan area. That's Highway 81 southbound there. So we're going to continue to track this and again, keep our eyes on this storm here as well. Let's zoom this out completely now. And what I want to do, let's see, Eric Hobbs. Let's check back in with Eric Hobbs. Let's zoom back into central Oklahoma. Eric, where are you now? I know that storm, it really took off on you there, and it's over there around the Shawnee area. And, hey, Mike Russ, I know you guys, I don't know, or let's find out where Eric is first, because that storm, it's really coming back up now. Let's look at the rotation within it. And so nothing too concerning right now, but it's just kind of got that structure. Eric, tell me where you are right now. Eric Hobbs, were you able to keep up with the storm, or did it just kind of take off too quickly there on you?
Yeah, William, that storm kind of took off on us, so wasn't able to get back up with it. Right now, I'm headed back down south toward Paul's Valley. It looks like there might be some potential for some storms down in that area. So I was going to go back down there and wait, and we'll see what develops down there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And,
Storms continue to build on down. Mike, Russ, let me ask you as well. I'm not totally sure where Mike is. We need to just keep our eye on that storm that's tracking back over there towards Shawnee. And I know Mike was kind of in the Choctaw area. He may be kind of too far out of range now, but we want to keep our eye on that storm over there around the Shawnee area. It's just kind of redeveloping that back into Pendage, and so we just want to keep our eyes on that. Let's zoom in on that. Let's zoom in on that Shawnee storm real quick here, and let's go take a closer look at this one. And let's go to the velocities. And so this one has got a fairly well pronounced area of spin. This is the same storm earlier that quickly earlier produced a lowering. This was going to be just to the west of the Purcell area. And so this storm here, it's kind of getting, especially over here around the Bethel Acres area, this is I-40 right back up in here. And so it's kind of got this broad area of spin now that's redeveloping. So we want to keep our eyes on this, Shawnee being right back over in here. So this is in general going to be tracking there towards the I-40 corridor. And so we want to keep our eyes on it. Let's look at the spin rate real quick here. And so, yeah, I tell you what, guys, especially there around the Bethel Acres area, you folks there around Bethel Acres, heads up on this. Shawnee, heads up on this. I-40, heads up on this. Small hometown there of Dale, all the way back over through Highway 177. Heads up on this. Mike, Russ, I think you may be just a little too far removed from your location. How far are you guys from I-40 right now, Mike?
Yeah, William, we're actually going to be out of play on that one for sure.
Okay.
Okay. So by the time we were able to get down there, we are actually in the Choctaw area right now.
That's fine. That's no problem. I figured you were a little too far to the north
fell
there.
Apart.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I figured you were a little too far to the north there. Go back to reflectivity there. So we're going to keep our eyes, on this one here for sure. So you folks there around Dale and Shawnee, definitely heads up on this storm. We want to pay extra special attention to this one as it's tracking up towards Highway 177. Let's do this. Mike, let's also check back in. We're looking at your video. Let's just kind of move this up to the north here a little bit with what's kind of left of this severe storm here. So basically from Hera all the way back down through Luther and then all the way back up through Wellston. No, actually go the other way. Yep, there you go. And so all the way back up through Wellston, Highway 66 through there as well, back over through Highway 177. Lots of heavy rain involved here. The most concerning portion of this area, I tell you what, it's still back over there towards the Shawnee area and the Bethel Acres area. So Mike, we're looking at your video. I know you're there in the Choctaw area. Give us an update. Tell us again kind of where you are and give us an update on that activity there.
Yes, we're coming down, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what road we're on, but we're kind of the main drive here in Choctaw. I believe it's 23rd, if I remember right. But again, William, the biggest story that we're seeing here is the localized flash flooding, the ponding in the roadways. In fact, as we kind of went through the main district there in Choctaw, the whole right lane was very inundated with water. Pretty much everyone had moved over to the left lane. So again, that's one of the big risks. And big risks right now is that flooding rainfall, William. So we're kind of repositioning, getting ready for the deluge of storms that look to be coming from the southwest again. So we're kind of repositioning, getting ready for those, and trying to get any new information as far as roadways and stuff like that. That might be flooded in the Elk City area, William. Okay,
so we're going to continue to track that. Again, Mike kind of talking about the eastern sides there of the Oklahoma City Metro. I'm just going to real quick, I'm going to jump in here and just take the mouse for 1 second, and I just want to stair step this around. And so, Eric, let me ask you real quick. So, Eric, you're kind of tracking back down towards Purcell. We've got a lot of storms around, so I want to eyeball and kind of take a quick look at what's going on around here. So we're just going to kind of work the radar for a second. Right now, the most concerning storm to me, if I'm in Shawnee and Bethel Acres, I'm paying attention to that storm. We're going to continue to track it. It's tracking right up towards I-40 right now. It's severe warned, but $half size hail possible. So let's see. So Eric, you're tracking back down here towards Paul's Valley. We're going to track these storms coming closer to the I-35 corridor. Tornado watch continues through this whole area till 11 p.m. And then we continue with this activity back down here towards the southwest. Geronimo, all the way back down through Cookietown, Rush Springs, and then back up here through Chickasha. Let's take this activity up here near Chickasha is right there on the boundary. And so a lot of times the boundary will help to kind of enhance any area of spin. Right now, not necessarily seeing anything too concerning there, but again, we're going to continue to essentially track that carefully again going forward. So one more time, I want to take a look at this cell over here around the Shawnee area. And man, oh man, I tell you what. So that's going to be just north of Pink. It's going to be just north of Highway 9 is actually where the area of spin is going to be. But this has got a fairly well pronounced area of spin. Let's go and take a closer look here. And so right now, out of all the storms that we're talking about, I just want to be clear about this. Right now, there's no tornado warnings in Oklahoma, but this one looks concerning to me. This is Highway 9. This is Pink. This is I-40 here. This is Shawnee. We've got an area of spin that's coming up extremely quick here. This is the same storm that earlier in the day did produce a brief lowering. This was west of Purcell. This storm quickly picked up speed. It sped right through Cleveland County. It's over here in Pottawatomie County now, but the area of spin and the hook coming around on this, it's coming up fairly quickly. Let's go back to reflectivity. And again, as we go back to reflectivity here, again, there's the hook on the back side of it. And let's look at the spin rate product as well. This is turning into a supercell. Let's go back to reflectivity here. And so this is turning into a classic supercell. This is where the heavy rain, hail core developing up in here, and this is the back end of it coming back around. And in fact, we almost have a kind of a double hook look on the back. See that double hook look? So strong area of spin there on the back side of it. But that's a developing supercell now. And so in general, that's going to be tracking right there towards Highway 177. You folks between Dell, Bethel Acres, and Shawnee, you've got to be paying attention to this storm. The I-40 corridor all the way out there to Johnson. Right now, this is only severe. This one looks a little concerning to me. Let's go, let's go to the hail core tracker. And so right now, just as we're looking at the hail core, you can see the curvature even within the hail core as the storm is really, the area of spin within the storm is really picking up now. See the curvature developing even within the hail core there? So this whole storm is now rotating. This one's got my attention. It's not tornado warned. The presentation on even the spin rate is not at the level that you would consider tornadic activity possible at this point, but this one is really intensifying quickly. And again, this is the one that did produce at least the brief lowering over around the Purcell area. So it's got a stinger hook now coming around on the back end. See the slender stinger hook on the back end. See this, how it almost looks like a scorpion? So you can call that a scorpion hook or a stinger hook. It's coming around on the back side. It's coming up quick. And if there was going to be an immediate tornado threat, it's going to be right back down in here. Let's go back to the spin rate. And as we go back to the spin rate, there it is right there. So again, not looking super impressive on the spin rate product. The structure of the storm, sometimes you just have to look at radar, look at the structure of the storm, and begin to kind of analyze from there. As the structure of the storm firms up, talking about a supercell look with the stinger hook on the back end, then you start to kind of piece together the rest of the weather puzzle here with some of these other products like velocities and, well, potentially even this spin rate product as well. So this is not looking too impressive here, but the structure of the storm, that is looking more impressive. And as we go over the next 20 minutes or so, we'll see if that structure of the storm, as it's dramatically changing now, if that means anything in its life cycle as a supercell, potentially trying to spin something up. Again, right now we're not at that point, we're not at that juncture, but I tell you, this one it's really got my attention here. So let's go back to reflectivity. And again, you can just see, I mean, this is a classic. If you ever hear the term scorpion hook, this is it. I mean, it almost looks like a scorpion here. Scorpion hook coming around on the backside. Very strong area of spin. And the thing is, as we head into the evening, we have something called the low-level jet. It's really going to be kicking in, and that's one of the reasons why we have a moderate risk of severe weather, potentially strong tornadoes possible from the Storm Prediction Center. It's because this low-level jet, it's just now starting to kick in. And I mean, just look at this counterclockwise, really elongation and kind of structure of this storm. And so to me, it just looks concerning, again, especially on a day when we're talking about the potential for tornadoes and even the potential for a strong tornado. We don't want to scare anybody. We don't want to give you anxiety. But as we're analyzing this, again, this one just continues to look concerning to me just with the structure itself. Okay, we need to break away from this for just a second. I want to zoom out and let's see what else we have going on here. So let's go and kind of zoom out. And right now, officially, we don't have a lot of severe weather in Oklahoma. We have severe storm that we were just looking at, and then we have, again, what's kind of been going on down here in southwestern Oklahoma. Let's zoom in on some of that. Let's go and take a look down here in southwestern Oklahoma, and let's kind of center that up. We've got a big hailstorm there south of Geronimo. See the pinks and the blacks showing up there? That's a big hailstorm there. Let's go to the hail core tracker, and let's take a look in there. So yeah, red's going to whites. There's definitely an opportunity of larger than golf ball size hail with that. Let's look inside that storm and see if we have a bit of a mesocyclone developing. So right there around the Walters area, let's look at velocities. And so we do have an area of spin. Hey, Trey, where exactly are you at now? This is that same storm that was, no, this is actually the sister storm, the storm that was west of it. Trey, where are you at right now exactly? Also, Peyton, where are you at exactly as well? This is going to be tracking up there potentially towards the Stevens County area. Where are you guys at now?
Trey here. I just got into Comanche again. And I just turned on 53 to go back west towards Walters.
Yeah, perfect, Trey. Absolutely, 1,000% perfect there. Let's really keep our eye on this, because I tell you what, it's a small area. We're only talking about a couple pixels, but we have that huge hail core, and when you get those mesocyclones, they suspend the hail. And so the hail stays in and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as soon as I saw that, that's what kind of led me to believe we must have something else going on here. And as it turns out, we do. It's a small mesocyclone. See the greens, the reds? It's just a couple pixels in width here. So it's not very big, but it's an area of spin. It's right there by Geronimo, north of Walters. And again, this storm officially not even severe from the Weather Service. We're not even seeing a warning on it right now. So we're going to continue to track that carefully. But this has got some big hail. So I'm not sure what's going on with the warning. We'll most likely get one issued on that fairly quickly, because we've got some large hail here. And so again, Highway 81 back over in here. Peyton, I know you've been over here on the Highway 81 corridor. Trey's now moving from Comanche back over here towards Walters on this cell. But Peyton, tell me where you are now along Highway 81. Give me an update.
William, like you said, I am on Highway 81. We were actually looking at the radar and actually kind of saw what you were talking about a little bit. I'm trying to find a better spot to kind of get in position to where when that does pass through, it's going to pass through just to our north. I did see what you were talking about, though. Main story, though, heavy rain. Heavy rain.
Hear you on that, Peyton. We hear you on that. We double-checked that we don't have a warning on this storm. Let's go back to the hail core tracker here one more time. And again, we have this very well-pronounced hail core. And so this is rule, but again, you know, we're getting indications here of over 2-inch hail. So this is, we'll call this ping pong ball size hail. This is larger than golf balls, ping pong ball size hail here. And so it's essentially right there at the county line, north of Walters, south of Geronimo. And we continue to get reports coming in here as well. So in general, this is going to be tracking here northeast, back here over towards the Highway 81 corridor. Let's go back to the spin rate. And so we've still got this area of spin just north of Walters. Again, nothing too concerning right now. Velocities as well, I'm sorry. And so we've got this very small, let's zoom this in so we can take a closer look at it. Let's just kind of zoom right on in there. And so this is what I mean. It's only a couple pixels wide. And in fact, these squares you're seeing, these are square miles. So this is maybe only like 2 to 4 miles wide. Again, I'm talking about square miles here. It's a small area of spin, but it's something we got to watch. This is a weak mesocyclone embedded here, and so we're going to continue to kind of watch the video coming in from our storm trackers. Again, this is from Trey, and I'm sorry, this video here rather is coming in from Peyton. He's around the Marlow area, and we'll see what the Trey's video is coming up here momentarily. And so again, Trey's coming over here off of Highway 81 towards the Walters area. So again, right now nothing too concerning, but it is creating some larger hail again just north of the Walters area. So we're going to continue to watch that. Let's go back to reflectivity. And again, there's that hail core. See that area black there? So let's zoom it out, and I want to go back here to Shawnee, and I'll get back to you guys coming up here in just a second, Trey. I know you're heading over there, and yeah, let's just zoom that out. Let's just walk it slowly over there. So a little bit of thunder coming in around the Norman Noble area quickly here. Norman Noble, nothing severe, but Norman Noble, a little bit of thunder. Studio's located in downtown Norman. We can hear it, but there is some heavy rain around the Noble area. Nothing severe there. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back to our Stinger hook and our Scorpion hook here. That's going to be just, and let's zoom it out just a little bit. And so we're talking about here just west of Shawnee, right there around the Bethel Acres area, tracking up towards Highway 177. Look how quickly that moved. let's go to the spin rate. And so still fairly broad, still right now just nothing too concerning. The structure of the storm, again, looks, if you look at it just from the structure itself, looks a little concerning. The velocities are becoming a little more impressive in the fact that they're a little more defined. So here's I-40, and again, where the reds and greens are coming together. This is a broad mesocyclone here. It's not tight, but again, that scorpion hook that we just saw there, again, this is a fairly broad mesocyclone coming up there towards I-40. Let's quickly look at the hail core tracker here too. And again, you can see where the mesocyclone is. And again, I don't want to repeat myself, but I know we have people tuning in and tuning out. And one of the reasons why near a mesocyclone, or where the mesocyclone is, the area of spin within a storm, the hail sizes get bigger. It's because where the area of spin is, it's able to keep the hail in the air longer, and they grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger until finally they're too big and they begin to drop out. And so that's why we kind of have this maximized hail core here. Primarily right now, that's why that storm is severe warned. But again, blues, aquas, and some yellows showing up there. There's an opportunity for some half-dollar size hail here that's going to be crossing I-40. So we're going to continue to look and watch that storm. But again, at least just on the reflectivity itself, it was fairly impressive. Not looking quite as impressive now, but again, that is still a classic looking supercell. Let's look over here near McLeod real quick too. Let's go and take a look at this one. Also spin rate if we can. Again, just anytime you kind of have these elongated hooks and notches, you just want to continue to look inside these storms, especially when you have a tornado watch and a moderate risk of severe weather. So we're going to continue to watch those. Right now, nothing too concerning. Let's zoom that out completely. We'll just zoom it out completely. And this is what I want to do again. I just want to kind of give another overview. And again, I know as people kind of tune in, tune out, you're wondering what's going on in your neck of the woods. And so I just want to kind of take this full screen. We'll get back to the storm tracker video coming up momentarily. But this is what we have going on. So we're going on now just right after 5:45 again on this Tuesday evening. William Cole here in the Forecast Center, Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV live here. And so we've got area of green. That is a tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. Central Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma. Officially from the Storm Prediction Center, we have a moderate risk of severe weather. That's a higher end risk of severe weather. The opportunity, as the Storm Prediction Center mentions, of a strong tornado or two could be possible again as we go through the evening. We've had tornadic activity as we went through the afternoon. So far this evening, knock on wood, we really hope this trend holds. We've had a couple tornado warnings, but we haven't necessarily in southern or central Oklahoma, the area that we cover here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, had any tornadoes that were actually confirmed. So again, we've had a couple tornado warnings. Earlier in the day, we did have a couple confirmed tornadoes kind of within our coverage area, but again, this evening, so far that hasn't happened. We've got some severe weather ongoing out there, but again, currently no tornado warnings in our area here. But this boundary you're seeing, that red and blue line, stalled out cold front here right over central Oklahoma back into southwestern Oklahoma. That will continue to be the focus of these storms. You see them basically lined up there along that boundary. Again, some of those storms could be severe. And again, as we go through the evening here, there may be an opportunity of some tornadic activity. But again, right now, that's just not happening, and that's the good news. But again, we've got our team of trackers out, and we are going to continue to check in with them. We're going to get back in with Mike Russ momentarily. He's been there in Oklahoma County. Let's do this. We haven't checked in with Eric Hobbs. Let's go down around the Pauls Valley area, and that's where Eric, I believe he still is. And Eric, tell us exactly where you are. While we're moving the radar there again for the Norman area, Norman Noble area, let's go and bring that down a little bit. Norman Noble area, again, there's some thunder around the area, but again, right now, nothing severe in the Norman area. Let's roll that into motion real quick. Let's roll that into motion. And again, as we do that, again, you can see the general motion here is off to the northeast. There's some additional heavier thunderstorms, non-severe, that are going to be tracking up towards Purcell and Noble and Highway 77 here over the next 20 minutes or so. So things are going to stay loud. There's going to be some heavy rain around, but right now that activity just is not necessarily severe. Let's check in with Eric Hobbs, again, part of our team of storm trackers. We've got them all over the state, all over our area this evening. But Eric, as we're looking at your video coming in, tell us exactly where you are now and give us an update on some of this activity.
Yeah, William, we're just coming up on Paoli, the Paoli exit here, and I-35. One of the things our travelers need to be wary of is not only ponding, but visibility on the road. As the roads get wet, The spray coming up from vehicles are really limiting the visibility. We've already seen one accident out here. Also, just about 30 seconds ago, I had lightning hit about 10 feet from the car. And so lots of vivid lightning out here, lots of rain, and low visibility.
Great report there. And so really appreciate that as well. And also just to confirm that Delaware and Ottawa County tornado warning, that is up in northeastern Oklahoma. So that's kind of out of our viewing area, so to speak. Again, we cover central, western, southern, and northern Oklahoma. And so again, that's for our friends up there in Green Country. Been a tornado outbreak today, by the way, up in Green Country. Multiple confirmed tornadoes up there. So not good for them. Luckily, here in central western parts of Oklahoma, even though we have a moderate risk of severe weather, tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m., it hasn't been quite that tough, and that's good. We're really hoping this trend holds. Let's go back southwest. And so I want to keep going just a little bit further back down there. Let's take a look again down there around Geronimo, where we still have that hail core, and that is where we still have Peyton Epperly. And Peyton, you're on the live line with us here. We're going to look at your video coming in right now, and it may have frozen just momentarily. But Peyton, you're on the live line. Tell us where you are now. I know you were around the Marlow area. We've still got the storm, still officially not severe from the Weather Service, but we've got a big hail core here. Tell us where you are and give us an update.
Yes, okay, I'm on the Duncan Pathway. It kind of takes you outside of Duncan, so you don't have to go through town. But I'm just trying to get up in position for that small area of rotation you saw on this storm by Geronimo. Kind of looking to go towards Central Heights, I believe is what it is. Trying to kind of work my way up towards that way and kind of get in position for this line to come through.
Okay, yeah, no, you're doing a great job out there. Still kind of that broad area spin we're watching with it, but again, just nothing too concerning. A lot of locally heavy rain, and again, that hail core there with it as well. Again, that hail core there now just east of the Geronimo area. The hail core's actually come down some. It's actually right around $half size now, the way it looks. So let's zoom this out. And let's go further down to the southwest, and that's again where I believe we still have Trey. Trey Smith is on the live line. And Trey, you've really been working that southwest corridor for us really good here this evening. Tell us where you are now exactly, and also go ahead and give us an update from your location there.
Yeah, I'm between Walters and Comanche on Highway 53. If you got my shot right in front of it, you'll actually see from the National Weather Service Center, I have one of their Dow radars that's kind of going out to investigate this area, I guess, that you've been going to talking about. I'm also going to hang out down here in Walters and just see if this more severe storm that's still kind of back there in Texas comes up this way, and see what it does.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, perfect positioning there. So we'll continue to track that there as well. Let's come back up to the Oklahoma City Metro, and that's where we have Mike Russ. Let's check back in with him. Again, you can kind of tell things are kind of winding down a little bit. We're not saying for good, but at least at this point in time, there's at least a little bit of a break in the action here. Things are kind of slowing down some. So, Mike, you're still on the live line. I know you had all that heavy rain that moved through central Oklahoma, and so we're getting your live shot pulled back up here. And so we're looking at Mike's shot. He's in the Oklahoma City Metro. He's been blowing and going, our senior storm tracker here. Been with us for over 3 years now. Mike Russ, really well known in Oklahoma as a good storm tracker. And so we're looking at your video here, Mike. But again, you, for the most part, you had a severe storm, heavy rain that moved through. There was a big hail core. But now the good news is, at least here in central Oklahoma, Oklahoma County, things are at least quieting down right now. So give us an update. Tell us exactly, again, where you are.
Yes, William. We're, I believe we're on 23rd Street, northeast. We're coming back towards I-35 right now. William, I can tell you, Jesse and I have been out here tracking these roadway conditions even, and even you'll hear in the shot here in just a second. The ditches are just absolutely filling up here in Oklahoma City, and I know this was just round one. We're repositioning to get ready for the next round that's coming up from the Chickasha area right now. So that's kind of what we're doing, is we're repositioning and also checking out basically, for the better lack of terms, flooded roadways at this time. And I can tell you, Northeast 23rd here, the closer we get to the metro area, the more inundated with water these roads are. So that flash flood warning that was really kind of centralized into the Oklahoma City area, it kind of went up to Edmond and all that area, down to Mustang. That flash flood watch was very warranted here. So again, if you're out driving, you have to be out driving, I should say. Definitely don't drive through flooded roadways. If there's water moving across the roadway, just don't do it. It's not worth it. You can damage your vehicle or put yourself in extreme danger real quick. In fact, actually, William, I just saw it here right on the highway here. There was actually water bubbling up from the sewage system, or the storm drain, I should say, the storm drain. But it was bubbling back up through the manhole cover out here.
So it's just overloaded.
That'll tell you that we're very full out here, William. The roadways are definitely getting very flooded in spots.
Yeah, no two ways about it. Mike, great job, great report there. Really appreciate it. Again, great work so far. Let's do this. I want to go back to that Shawnee storm real quick here. And that storm that's just north of Shawnee, that was the one that looked concerning just a little bit earlier. And so we're going to continue to eyeball this one quickly here as well. And let's see, as we do that, let's go and zoom in. Let's look. Let's take a little bit tighter there, and right there along Highway 177 and I-40. And so this storm remains severe. Let's look at the hail core tracker first. And so still an opportunity here for at least some quarter to maybe $half size hail. Hail size is coming down some. Let's look at the spin rate. And so again, still just not a real pronounced area of spin, even as we look at velocities here. Again, just kind of looking within the storm. So this storm came up maybe 5-10 minutes ago, maybe about 15 minutes ago now. They came up quickly with kind of a scorpion hook on it. In fact, it almost had kind of a double notch hook for just a few minutes. And this storm, it came up quickly, really had my attention. We can go back to reflectivity here. And as we do that, you can still kind of see the structure of it, but it's kind of morphed into some of this other heavier precipitation here. This was what's left of the super slippery in this area here with the hook on the back end of it. And I think somebody needs to hit the mute button. If you don't mind, we'll just turn that down. And so anyway, so the hook on the back end of it looking much more raggedy, area of spin nowhere near as pronounced. And again, all of this north of Shawnee, there's the I-40 corridor right there. But again, storm's still officially severe. And like I said, we're going to continue to track that going forward. So here's what we're going to do. The storm trackers have really been doing a great job eyeballing. We've been live with you here for probably the last almost 2 hours or so. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, let our storm trackers kind of regroup. There's a quick break in the action here, and then we'll be right back with you live for more severe weather coverage throughout the evening as this moderate risk officially from the Storm Prediction Center continues in this tornado watch until 11 p.m.